Hi, Esther.
Hi, Deepika. I would say I'm from Dallas. I've lived here since I was a teenager. I was actually born in New York City, but we moved here when I was in ninth grade. So I'm from Dallas. Easy questions, huh? Um, how did I become an artist? Well, I'd say as a child, my parents were very encouraging to me. They gave me art lessons, and I remember I really liked that. But I don't know that that would make me an artist, or if I thought of myself as an artist. Um, and as I got older, well, when I was, I'd say, a young married person with young children, I used to take art lessons kind of as a hobby. So I did that for quite a few years, and then I stopped and became a lawyer and worked in the business world for a long time. And then I retired. This is my whole life history. And so when I retired from the business world, and that was in around the late 1990s, before 2000, I decided I would take up painting again. So I guess you'd say I officially became an artist at that point, but I didn't really think of it that way. So anyway, it's been about 20 years now that I've been really focusing on painting. That's kind of like asking somebody, what is art? Um, well, for me personally, it's a wonderful, tremendous outlet for all kinds of emotions. It's a way to really get lost and kind of block out the rest of the world if necessary. Um, it's a means of expression. Um, I, Golly, I don't feel like I'm doing really justice to this question. What does the art mean to me? It's very, very important part of my life. And it kind of keeps me going. I mean, I think if I didn't have my painting now, I would, especially with the pandemic, it was one of the things that really kept me going. So it's important. My artistic style, very free, very, well, I love color. Most of my work's very colorful. I mean, occasionally I'll do black and white, but not very often. Um, it's, I do a bunch of different things. I'd say it's psychological in that I'm trying to uh, project onto the canvas or the paper, uh, what's going on in my mind. Um, I wouldn't say it's impressionistic. I'd say it's expressionistic. I think that's a better word. Now I almost exclusively use acrylic paints, but I'll paint on paper or canvas. But I've done, I think, watercolor, oil, gouache, oil pastels. I've used a lot of different materials in the past. I've used collage a lot in the past. Um, but right now I'm only using the acrylic paints, and I like them. They're, I think, safer than the oil paint, and you can just do a lot with them. And because I like color a lot, you can get a lot of really deep colors in contrast with the acrylic, which you can't really do with the oil, not the oil, with the watercolors as well. So That's what I'm using these days. Oh gosh. Well, I would say that my process, is one where I just really rely on my imagination. I don't work from like still life or landscape or plein air or, it's definitely not realistic. I'm not looking at anything. And so my process is trying to access, what's happening with me internally, and go with it. And so it's, often quite a mystery even to me what I'm going to do and what's going to happen, and allowing myself to follow the energy of whatever is flowing out. So it's very intuitive, very, very intuitive. You know, I think this is just a repeat of what I just said. I don't start with a theme or I'm going to do this series and it's going to be about that. I don't want to have a preconceived notion of what's going to happen. I want to be surprised. And it's really important not to try to control what's happening. So if that's a theme, I guess you could call it that, but I wouldn't call it a theme. I would say exploring the unknown, maybe you could call it that, possibly. So kind of hard to put into words. Really, I hate to say, I know this is a Jewish Historical Society, but I mean, only to the degree that I'm Jewish and I've always been Jewish, but I mean, I guess that's part of my subconscious mind, but I'm just thinking back on all of my paintings and I can't think of one where I would say it had a Jewish theme. I'd say my art is, and which I like, is much more universal. It's not focused on any particular group or gender or race or religion or anything like that. And I'm hopefully speaking to everybody, not just any one group. I love contrast. And I like really vivid colors that pop. So I mean, when I do abstracts, it's all about color, and energy, the different energies you get when you combine different colors. So yeah, color is really important to me. Well, I'm not positive yet. This last year I did a series called The Pandemic. I'm assuming you've looked at my website from some of the things you've said.
Yeah.
So I have a page there called The Pandemic. I'll probably use a few of those because they're the most recent. And I had those paintings are, I think, reflect the anxiety that I was feeling and everyone I knew was feeling, and the lack of control that we all felt, and the fear of the invasiveness of the virus. Well, I would say this. Each person who looks at my art, or really anybody's art, they're they're entitled to their own interpretation and feeling and experience. And so I would be the last person to say, you know, when you look at this painting, I hope you think this or you feel this. That's not my idea at all. Now, what I do hope is that it does evoke something for them, that they look at it and they feel whatever it is they feel, and they want to spend some time with the painting and explore their own feelings and reactions to it. But there's no right way to do that. So that's what I hope.